Hey guys, welcome back or welcome. My name is Daniela. Today marks the day of me being 28 weeks pregnant. So that is actually the first day of your third trimester. And last night I actually slept like crap. The baby felt like a pile of bricks in my stomach and it was just super uncomfortable and I really could not sleep at all. But I thought today it would be really fun to bring it all back to literally the very beginning of my pregnancy. The first 2 weeks when I didn't even know I was pregnant and when you won't even test positive on a pregnancy test like the pee stick. Also, for anyone who doesn't know what the 2-week wait is, basically it's from when you conceive to when you get your next period. That's false. So even though you can't test positive yet because there's not enough like pregnancy chemicals in you, many people's bodies give these kind of red flags that may make you think like, yeah, something's off, or like I could be pregnant. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe, like, and turn the little notification bell on so you can be notified every time I post, which is every Wednesday. I'd love to have you join the family and help grow this whole thing. I still can't believe I'm this far along or like even pregnant. It seriously goes so quickly. I remember in this little period of time for me, I felt different or just off, and I would look up so many of these videos just in my room and there couldn't be enough videos. Like, I wanted to see what other people were feeling, if I was feeling the same thing, but then it's also really difficult because it seems like all the symptoms are the exact same ones as you getting your period. It's like boobs aching or cramping or bloating, stuff like that. So it literally made me rack my brain because I was like, am I getting my period or am I pregnant? Like, big difference. I've always wanted to make one of these videos because I know they made me feel kind of at peace somewhat, because it was almost like speaking to a friend who had been through the process. And it's also a time where most people don't really reach out to their friends, or even a lot of people don't tell their significant other what they're thinking because they don't want to come across as like crazy or jinxing it or anything like that. So still, I cannot believe I'm making this video and I'm so far along in my journey already. Also, I did write everything down, thank gosh. I try to make a habit of writing down, like, not every day, I probably should do every day, but I don't, but just trying to write down exactly how I'm feeling and different things I'm going through. I find it helps me just have everything on paper, and I'm really glad I did, because now I can look back and see what my first pregnancy symptoms were, and it's not foggy, it's vivid. Also, I clearly remember being like, am I making my body feel these things? Like, am I just making this up in my head, or am I actually pregnant, or is something changing? So it's such like a crazy 2 weeks, and honestly like a long 2 weeks. So you may just be watching this video for entertainment, but if you are sitting there thinking you might be pregnant, you may not be crazy. Just listen to your body, and hopefully the symptoms that I went through help you, kind of guide you and see if you're feeling the same things. Obviously different people feel different things as well, but I just know, like I said earlier, there could not be enough of these videos because it's always nice to hear about how many different people are feeling and compare it to yourself. Alright, so let's get into my first ever pregnancy symptoms before I even knew I was pregnant. The first one I have here is sore boobs. Oh my goodness. So for us, this was around Christmas time. So this is a time where many people are coming over and it's hugs and stuff like that. And I remember specifically my husband's dad coming up and giving me a big hug, saying hello, Merry Christmas, all that stuff. And he hugged me and I was like, oh, like, ow, it hurt so much. It literally was like someone had punched me a bunch of times in my boobs, and it was just pure bruises, and then someone like gave you a huge hug on them. Like, probably TMI, but honestly that's how it felt. And I know also people get sore boobs with their periods and stuff like that, but this is what I mean. Like, symptoms can be totally different. I could get a totally different symptom for my periods than you would, and vice versa. But I think it's just knowing your body and if that's normal for you or not. Sometimes my boobs would get kind of sore before my period or whatnot, but like definitely not like this. So this was definitely one of the first signs that I was like, okay, something's different. I don't know what it is. And it's also scary too, because like you don't know, like it could be anything. So your brain's like thinking about all these different things that also could be horrible that it could be. So it's really a weird point of time. The next one I have here is I was talking about how exhausted I was and how weak I was. And I remember for me, like if I don't eat for, probably for a lot of people, if you don't eat for a long period of time, you get like shaky hungry and you need like sugar or something like that. But I was eating normally and I constantly felt like this, like just super tired and just shaky and weak, and I didn't know what it was at all. I was in Scotland at this time, so I thought maybe it was just because like the traveling or whatever, but honestly usually like I travel a good amount and it never had an effect on me like that. So it was kind of just another thing. My body was like, hey, something's up. I also wrote down that I had some heartburn, which for me is not normal at all. Like I never have heartburn, so that was kind of weird for me. I remember I only had it like a couple of times, but still I'd be like, oh, ow. Again, all here just went through a lot that time. Okay, the next one is the cramping. I vividly remember this. Now that I'm reading through these two, like they all sound like period symptoms, but they were just like on steroids. And I even have here, my bladder and uterus hurt. So it literally would go between like a stabby feeling to just like an aching feeling. And again, I just didn't know what it was. But now after doing research and stuff and watching these videos, I found out that this very well could be implantation bleeding. So it's like the embryo like implanting itself in your uterus, and I guess this causes cramping. So again, these feel like period things, but in this case it was not. Now this one is kind of funny because it has carried on 100% throughout my whole pregnancy. Today, still, I am always thirsty. And I know pregnant women pee a lot to begin with, but the amount of water I've been drinking, I feel like just a whale with its mouth open, just getting all this water. And it's not enough. It's never enough. I'm always thirsty. Also, to go along with this, I have here, do not want to eat anything healthy. So for me, I would classify myself as like not a health freak. Like I try to eat healthy, you know, like I think balance is key. If I see a cookie or whatever, like I'll eat it if I want it. I've never been like a huge sweets person or dessert or whatever, but generally I just try to eat as healthy as I can to like be healthy. But during this time, I remember I could not even look at like a salad or a piece of fruit or anything. I just wanted like, what do I have here? Taco Bell, or we made brownies, or oh my goodness, I don't know if you guys all know what buff chick dip is, but it's just buffalo chicken dip. It's so good. Not good for you, but it's so good. Anyways, I made that. Like, I just wanted anything that was bad for me. I was like, heck yes, give it to me, please. That is also a symptom that's kind of lasted through. Like, I've been able to eat a lot healthier, which is nice. But like I've mentioned in some of my earlier videos, I definitely have been more into sweets and desserts and stuff like that. So not 100% me, but this also definitely started from day one. Say hi.
Hello.
I'm telling them about when we first found out we were pregnant.
Exciting times.
Can you close it, please? Okay, so I actually forgot about this too. I mentioned this in the beginning of the video, but I just did not feel myself at all. And I was like, you know what, maybe I am pregnant. So I took a pregnancy test, but this was before it had been a whole 2 weeks. But I was like, who knows, like maybe it'll show up positive, whatever. Like I just wanna know, I wanna like exclude anything out of my head that I can. So I took the test and it came out negative, and I was like, okay, maybe my body's just having a weird month or whatever, or I knew it was too early to take it, but I still just thought that maybe it would come out positive if I was. Then at exactly 2 weeks later, Liam and I had a flight from Scotland back to Toronto for the holidays, and we had to get up super early. We were up at 4:30, I think, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take this test again and we will see. I just want this to be out of my mind. If this is not what it is, then I will move on and hopefully my body just goes back to normal. I don't know what's happening. So I took the test. Liam wasn't even awake yet. I took it and waited for that 1 or 2 minutes, however long it is. Again, like the longest 1 to 2 minutes ever. So I waited, and then I saw like a very clear cross. And again, I was the only one awake. It was just him and I kind of just sat there, and I remember looking at it and my hand was shaking, and I was still kind of foggy from just waking up, and I was just like, holy crap. And the first thing I thought was, you're not crazy. Like that, it was so many different emotions, but I just remember being like, okay, like something was actually happening to your body, like you're right. Again, I wasn't sure if I was just making these symptoms up and putting myself through hell for no reason, but it was so kind of just validating to see that cross and know that I wasn't crazy. But there are also so many other things going through my mind as well. So I kind of just ran to the bed and Liam was peacefully sleeping and I was like, hello, wake up, and showed him it. And honestly, his reaction was amazing. Like, he made me feel just comfortable and happy, and he probably thought he was still dreaming because it was like 4:30 in the morning. But it was all okay, and we kind of just let it process, and then we had a whole flight to let it soak in and just become our new reality. But I could go on forever because the story literally goes and goes and goes. But those were my first ever pregnancy symptoms during the 2-week wait period before I knew for sure if I was pregnant. So I really hope that me sharing my experiences with you helps kind of calm you, or maybe I just did the complete opposite. I'm really happy I watched the different videos I did. So like I said, hopefully this helps you and kind of makes you feel like you're talking to a friend who's been through it or whatnot. Just let the 2 weeks go by, listen to your body, take the test, and it will be fine. And if you are watching this and you are pregnant, a huge congratulations. Let me know what your first symptoms were, if they were similar to mine or completely opposite. I feel like I've heard all ends of the spectrum, but just let me know what yours were or currently are if you think you might be pregnant. Also, regardless if you're pregnant or not, let me know what kind of videos you guys want to see from me. I've been having such a fun time already just filming these ones, so comment and let me know if you have any suggestions down below. I'm all ears and open to pretty much anything. Once again, don't forget to subscribe, like, and turn the little notification bell on to make sure you receive notifications every time I post, which is every Wednesday. Alright guys, well that's it from me. If you have any questions or anything, comment down below and I'll make sure I reply to those. Have a great day or night or whatever time it is where you're watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!